You know, one of the most rewarding parts about teaching the business side of photography is witnessing that moment of revelation when photographers truly understand their value. That's something that very few photographers ever reach. I'm going to say something that you may have said to yourself, but it's something that at least we have all heard someone else say or seen them write. You've heard this: charge what you're worth. And I think most would agree with that statement. The problem with that is that the vast majority have no idea of what that truly means in a practical sense. In other words, while they agree with the sentiment that photographers should charge what they are worth, they do not seem to know how to apply that to their business in any meaningful way. Hi there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm Jim Landers, your host and your guide on the business side. It's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. And each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography that are designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, so that you can reduce the struggles that most photographers are facing. That way you can finally get what you deserve. This show is for photographers who feel they've got something to learn on the business side. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab and Amanda and her wonderful, amazing team. And if you haven't checked out digitalprolab.com, there's the web address right there on the screen for you. Do a screenshot, type that in. But she hires, Amanda and Ray, the owners, hire people who love this stuff. It's their career. They're not there temporarily. They are there because they actually love this stuff. And the difference in the work that they produce, in the customer service that they give you, the way that they make you feel is noticeable. Very. They're gonna make you look like a hero to your clients. Yeah. Go to digitalprolab.com if you haven't already and feel the Digital Pro Lab difference. And also, this show is sponsored by Landers Photography School. That's my company. And you can see on the screen right now just a quick way to get in contact with me. This is a free 15-minute private session just to talk about you, to talk about your goals, to see what direction you want to head in. I work with both the photography side and the business side. And obviously, this show, Portrait Profits, is very much geared to the business side. And so I do spend more time on the business side than I do on the photography side, but I do both. And so use that address right there. That's a free gift, just like this show is. I'm not charging anything for either. It's free. There's no catch. We're just talking about you and what you want. You get to ask questions, I'll respond. And so take advantage of that. I'm going to take that off the screen. I want to encourage you throughout the show to make comments. Just go to the comment section, ask questions, and just anytime when you have them. And of course, hit that like button, hit that love button. I like seeing that. It makes me feel good. So I want you to go to the comments section right now and enter in hashtag live. That tells me that you're watching us now on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to 8 different places. For those watching the replay, please comment hashtag replay. If you haven't already, I want you to click that share button, letting other people know about the Portrait Profit Show. I said there's no cost to this. That's your cost. Clicking the share button. That's all I'm asking. Because we don't charge for this. We don't have any money to be spending on the advertising of it, and so it is you sharing it that causes other people to know. And so, do me a favor, click that share button. Do yourself a favor. It's beneficial for you to have other people know the best practices in photography. So let other people know. You know those epiphany moments when a single simple insight just transforms how you view your business? Today, I'm sharing one of the fundamental truths about portrait photography that changes how many successful photographers market their services. I spent years observing talented photographers who have invested thousands in equipment, who have dedicated countless hours to mastering their craft, who have built impressive portfolios. Yet, through all that and more, they've missed the most valuable connection in working with their ideal clients. I want to give you three things that change, well, everything. The first, your camera, it's an emotion creating tool, an emotion creating tool. Your lighting expertise, your lighting knowledge is an emotion enhancing tool, an emotion enhancing tool. And those amazing, exquisite portraits that you create, well, they are your emotion delivery system. Your emotion delivery system. Let me share two powerful observations from my 30 years plus as a professional portrait photographer. Number one, and there's just two. Number one, no one ever asked me to see my portfolio. I made one. I mean, in college, they said it was extremely important and they made us do it. They graded us on it. And it wasn't as simple as that because they made us redo it multiple times. It was tough to do. It was fun to do. It was tough. No one ever asked to see it. Now, it doesn't mean no one saw it because I wanted them to see it. And so if they didn't ask, I'd say, would you like to see my portfolio? So a lot of times I did do that, but I got to where I didn't do it anymore. No one asked. The second thing, no one ever asked to see my degree in photography. Hmm. Sounds like a kind of an important thing, but no, no, not for the most part, no one cares. Now, if they happen to see it on your wall, they may comment on it and think that's kind of cool. And as a photography teacher, that is beneficial because the students that I work with want to know that I have some not only practical knowledge but educational knowledge. So, yeah, well-rounded in that respect, not in every respect. But they hired me not because of my portfolio, not because of my degree, because they didn't ask for those things. They hired me because they liked me, or they were referred by someone who liked me. Now, you may ask why. You may say, well, of course, but you might also ask why, or give me more information on this. Well, it's because portrait photography isn't a logical purchase, not most of the time. It's an emotional one. Now, there are times when that might not be the case, such as someone needs a headshot for work. Okay, then they may not care. Not on the surface, but you know what? Even still, there is an emotional connection to the images when they love your work and they love being around you. In this lesson, we're exploring the psychology that drives successful, low volume portrait photography businesses. I'm sharing today proven strategies that will transform how you market your services and connect with your most ideal clients who recognize the emotional value that you are creating for them. You know what? If this sounds interesting, will you do me a favor and tell me that in the comments? You could say something as simple as, I'm looking forward to this, or just simply, yes. Interact with me in the comments. Let me know that you're here, that you're watching. Hit that like button when you hear something you like. Hit that love button when you hear something that you like. And as always, and you can see it up here in the top right hand corner. That is a QR code to get the handout for today. There's a handout for every one of our shows every single Monday, and that is for today. Is just use your cell phone and photograph that in your camera app, and it will take you right to it. By the way, on some screens, if you're watching on a desktop, it's small. So if you enlarge it, it'll be easier to see. And for those who can't do that, well, let me put the link. It's across the bottom right now. So just screenshot that and then type in that link. And while I'm at it, let me put that in the comments. Copy that. And I'll put that back on the screen while I put it in the comments. All right, so I'm putting that in the comments right now. That way you can just click the link, assuming it allows me to do that. On some platforms, it doesn't allow me to put a link in. I don't know why, but we'll try. So a couple of shout outs. I see several of you here today, and I see Carl and Joe and Frank and Anne and Robin and quite a few more. Thank you guys for being here. I sure do appreciate it. And I think it's going to be beneficial to you to be here, of course. All right. Let me I'm going to change that icon that's up in the top right corner. So make sure you get a screenshot of that. I'll bring it back possibly later on. All right. There are three main topics I'm going to talk about today. Let me tell you their titles. The three chapters today are the hidden truth about value. The second is understanding your real product. Number three, transforming your marketing. So those are the three main titles or the three main topics we're going over today. So chapter 1. Let's talk about that phrase we've all heard, charge what you're worth. Charge what you're worth. You know, that sounds empowering, doesn't it? But here's the problem. Unfortunately, it misses the mark completely because your worth isn't measured in your camera gear, your technical expertise, or even your years of experience. Let me give you a pro tip. You might want to write this down. Your worth is determined not by comparison to other photographers, but by a combination of two main variables. Number one, what you want as an ideal life. What you want as an ideal life. And number two, well, it isn't determined by what you do, but by how what you do is perceived by your ideal clients. I'm going to repeat that. It isn't determined by what you do, but by how what you do is perceived by your ideal clients. I want you to think about this. Think about luxury items for a moment. Why does someone pay thousands for a designer handbag when a functional one is less than a tenth of the price? This may not be you, but why does someone choose a luxury car when one that is simply reliable will get them to the same destinations? Their value lies entirely in how they are perceived by their ideal clients. It isn't logic, you guys. They may feel like they are applying logic, but it isn't logic, it's emotion. Portrait photography lives within this space. Nobody needs you to photograph their portrait. And in many instances, people don't need a portrait at all. In the world of smartphones and selfies, professional portraits are purely a luxury purchase. And with the advent of AI headshots, I don't know if you've looked into that, but a year ago they were impressive, but you could tell. But nowadays, while there are some that you can tell, there are others, guys, if you haven't been keeping up, there are AI headshots that you can get just by doing some photographs with your own camera, your own cell phone, uploading them, and they will look like they were done by someone who is a professional with 10, 20 years of experience. So even a business headshot from a portrait photographer, someone who knows what they're doing, is a luxury item. And that changes everything about how we should think about value. Instead of hiring me for my professional equipment and technical skills, they hire me because of how I made them feel. So remember this: logic makes people think, but emotion, hmm, well, that's what makes them act. I'll repeat that. Logic makes people think, but emotion, that's what makes them act. Oh, yes, you want them to act. You want them to do something, interact with you in some way, not click away. Let me give you a pro tip. When discussing your services, listen for how potential clients perceive your value. Are they questioning the price, or have you not yet connected with what they truly value? There are times when we misunderstand the cues that they're giving us. Here's the hidden truth about value in portrait photography: people don't pay for pictures, they pay for how the entire experience will make them feel. In other words, they pay for emotion. And specifically, they pay for confidence, for legacy, for pride, and for the memories that they anticipate that you'll create for them. So when someone says, charge what you're worth, remember your worth isn't in your gear, it's not in your skills, not alone. Oh, and stop justifying the price by the fact that you spend a lot on camera gear. So what? Guys, that's important to you and maybe a handful of clients that thinks that's interesting. But for the most part, they're not buying you because of your gear. It didn't play into their decision making. So quit using something that didn't play into their decision making. Photographers who do this are oftentimes relatively new, or they haven't evolved to this level of understanding or this type of understanding. It doesn't make them bad people. They're still wonderful, fantastic, amazing people. But the truth is, no one chose you because you use a Nikon or a Canon or a Fuji or a Sony or an Olympus or whatever you have. They hired you because of you. Your worth is in the emotions you create, the moments you preserve, and the confidence that you build in them. That's what your ideal clients are going to value about you. Just to be clear, there are a minimum of four things that I want you to take away from this first chapter. Is in this one. Number one, your worth is determined not only by you, but also by the perception of your ideal client. Number two, portrait photography is a luxury purchase. Number three, emotions drive buying decisions. Number four, stop justifying your pricing with the price of your gear. Now that we understand what people really value, let's talk about how to identify and deliver these emotional elements that make your service truly invaluable. Before I move on to number 2, I want to invite you to click that like button, to click that love button, to make a comment. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live in the comments, letting me know you're watching right now live on one of the 8 different places that we are simulcasting to. And if you haven't already, get today's handout. There's the address to it right there. Just write that down, and that is yours. It's also, if you scroll in the feed, you'll also find a link to it there as well. Chapter 2. So, what is your real product? It's not portraits, it's emotion. But let's unpack that. Every purchase decision has an emotional trigger. You know this if you stop and think about it. Every purchase has an emotional trigger. Every luxury purchase has an emotional trigger. Think about the last time you bought something that you didn't need. So, therefore, in the category of a luxury, what emotion or combination of emotions drove that purchase? What emotion or combination of emotions drove that purchase? Now, I want you to think about that last client. What emotion or combination of emotions drove them to invest in portraits? Now, I'm talking about in general first. Why were they even thinking about investing in portraits? Not you first. That is important as well. But what even caused them to head down that road of wanting portraits? And that's in any form, digital, print. Here are what I believe to be the 5 primary emotions. There are many, but I believe these are the 5 primary emotions that drive portrait purchases. Number 1, pride. Maybe that they're feeling, maybe they want a headshot of this time of their life, and they want everyone to see how far they've come or where they're at right now. Number 2, legacy. I want to create a visual legacy for posterity, meaning I want my kids and their kids to have this memory. Number 3, confidence. I want to look as successful as I feel. Number 4, love. I want to celebrate our family bond. Number 5, I just want to remember this moment or this happy time. Let me give you a pro tip here, a suggestion. During consultations, listen for emotional keywords and phrases. When someone says, I want to look professional, they're also saying, I want to feel confident. When a parent says, the children are growing up so fast, they're also saying, I'm afraid of losing these precious moments. Building genuine connections starts with understanding these emotional drivers. When a potential client reaches out, they're not just inquiring about prices, they're sharing their emotional needs. Your response should acknowledge and validate those emotions. Let me share a revelation that changed my business or the way I look at the business. Clients don't just refer you because you created beautiful portraits alone. They refer you because of how the entire experience made them feel. You made them feel good. Chances are you made them feel a lot more than good. You made them feel wonderful. You made them thrilled with the experience. So think about that. Your real product is about emotion. However, it's not just the emotion in the final portraits. That's what lingers, that's what they can see. But it's the emotional journey from the first contact to final delivery, whatever that is for you. So remember this: technical excellence is expected. Emotional excellence is remembered. Technical excellence is expected. Emotional excellence is remembered. Let me give you a pro tip. After each client interaction, I want you to ask yourself, what emotion did I create or validate? This gets you constantly thinking about it. So to the point where you just do it, you're not even thinking about it anymore. Kind of like when you're driving. You're not thinking about the right or the left turn signal. You just click it when it's time. This understanding transforms how you approach every aspect of your business. Your website isn't just about showcasing portraits and an About Me page. It's about promising the emotional fulfillment that your ideal clients want. Your consultation isn't just about discussing services, it's about exploring emotional concerns or needs. Your delivery isn't just presenting portraits, it's celebrating emotional moments that they get to keep. I want to share with you 5 key takeaways for this chapter before I move on to the third and last. Number one, emotion is your product. Number two, the 5 primary emotional drivers are pride, legacy, confidence, love, and joy. Number 3 of 5, listen for emotional keywords during all interactions: phone calls, emails, when you're in front of them, when you're photographing them, and when you show them their photographs, when you deliver their final work. Number 4, your product includes the entire client experience with you, not just the result. Number 5, technical excellence is expected. Emotional excellence is remembered. Now that we understand our real product is emotion, let's explore let's explore how to transform our marketing to reflect this truth. By the way, if this is resonating with you today, do me a favor and tell me. Go over to the comments section. You can just hit yes, or this is resonating with me, or this is good. I like this. This is helping. I'm going to use this. Tell me. Don't keep that to yourself. I spend all this time put this together because I love doing it and I love sharing, but I also want to know how you react to it. And in this format where I'm just talking, I don't get to do that unless you interact with me in the comments. And also, of course, click that like button, click that love button each time you hear something that you like. As always, you can get that handout. Let me put that up one more time. I'll put that up in the top right corner right up here. And the handout, of course, is always available for every one of these shows. All you have to do is go to the link. And the link is different each time, by the way. So don't save the first link that you've ever seen on one of these and think you can get what the current one is. It's a different link every time. That way, if you want to go back and get a past handout, you can, because there's a different link for it. So that's the current today's link. Now, if you need any help with any of these thoughts or suggestions, I, of course, encourage you to take a look at my private coaching. And these can help you choose and implement the right tools for your business. And so take advantage. I posted it a little while ago, but let me post that again. Let's see. There it is. This is free. Take advantage of it. Calendly.com/photo school /15MIN. That takes you to my calendar, and you can get on my schedule for free. That's what that does. Do a screenshot of that before I take it off, because I want to move on to chapter 3. we go. We're going to transform your marketing. You know, when remember when we talked about your worth being determined by perception? Here's where that understanding transforms everything about your marketing. Most portrait photographers market like this: professional quality, years of experience, state of the art equipment, things like that. Sound familiar? Of course, it sounds familiar. But now you know better. You understand what your ideal clients really value. Let me give you some homework. It's not hard, but it's valuable. Replace every technical feature in your marketing message with an emotional benefit. Let me give you some examples. Instead of saying, I use advanced lighting techniques, you could just say, creating portraits that radiate confidence. Instead of, I photograph with the latest camera system, you could say, portraits that glow with your family's love. Now, of course, you're going to adjust that to the type of photography that you do. Let me give you some more. Here's some common marketing phrases that I might change. So, from high resolution digital files to memories that will move your loved ones to tears. From professional retouching to portraits that make you feel as amazing as you truly are. From years of experience to creating cherished family legacies. Those are just examples of what you could do. Based on what you do, you will make something this specific for you. But remember this: marketing isn't about telling people what you do. It's about showing them how they will feel as a result of working with you. There is a time for telling them what you do. I'm not saying that you need to eliminate that. I'm saying that your priority is to get them to love what they believe you can do for them. That is your priority, not to share your camera system, not to share how long you've been in business. For some, that large number is not a turn on, it's a turn off. Your website should be an emotional journey. Your social media shouldn't just show portraits, it should tell emotional stories. Your consultation process shouldn't just explain your services, it should validate their emotions. Here's a suggestion: after every client experience, meaning after you've completed the entire process, you've delivered what it is that they wanted. Ask for specific emotional feedback, such as, how do these portraits make you feel? These responses become your most powerful marketing messages. Think about the most successful luxury brands. They don't sell products, they sell how the product makes you feel. Rolls-Royce doesn't sell cars, they sell arrival in the form of an exclusive lifestyle, prestige, and a symbol of ultimate status. Tiffany doesn't sell jewelry, they sell moments in the form of status and romance. The Ritz-Carlton doesn't sell hotel rooms, they sell an experience of being truly valued and pampered. Rolex doesn't sell watches, they sell the appearance of achievement and the recognition of success. And you don't sell portraits. You sell the emotions: pride, love, confidence, legacy, things that will be cherished for generations. So, what's the beauty of emotional marketing? Well, it attracts clients who value what you truly offer. They're not they're not price shopping because they're investing in you because it makes them feel good. If your clients are price shopping, there is improvement in your there is an improvement that could be done to your marketing. You have something remarkable to offer. You create emotions that become personal and family treasures. You preserve feelings that become personal legacies. That's not just marketing, that's almost magic. I want to address some common concerns. Many photographers that I have shared this with before today are concerned that moving away from technical marketing means hiding their expertise. Gosh, no. The opposite is what's true because your technical excellence is what supports your emotional delivery. Think of it like a luxury car. The engineering exists to deliver that feeling. That's what supports it. So let's talk about your emotional value proposition or EVP if you've heard of this before. This is the unique emotional experience that you promise and deliver. So, how do you identify your emotional value proposition or EVP? Number one is you list the emotions your past clients have expressed. Make a list of them. And then I want you to make a list of the emotional responses that felt the most natural to you. So they were not forced, they were not pushed. It was just naturally occurring by you. Because there's going to be some things that people say about you. That You're going to be like, I appreciate that, but I had to make that happen. That's not normally me. Whatever that case is, which of the emotional responses felt the most natural to you? Now, all of them are important, both the ones that past clients have expressed and those that feel the most natural to you. So, identify number three of three things to determine your emotional value proposition, or to help you do this, is identify where these intersect, because that is your EVP sweet spot. Now, let's talk about handling price objections. Uh, because if you're going to make photography your main income source, you're going to charge more than the average Joe guy with a camera. So, what are you going to say when someone says that's expensive? I want you to think of it this way. When someone says that's expensive, they're really saying one of two things. The first, I don't see the value. That's an emotional disconnect. Number two, I can't afford this. This could be a genuine budget constraint. I say it could be because if they actually say this, it still could mean it's an emotional disconnect. So, for emotional disconnects, revisit their core emotional considerations that you've discovered by visiting with them. For real budget constraints, maintain the emotional value that doesn't change, and where possible, offer appropriate options. You may not have anything that fits their budget. Let's say that they thought they could get this for $75 and your minimum is $750. Okay, there's probably going to be too much of a separation. Kind of like when you watch one of those shows on TV about pawn shops. Trying to remember the one that's in Las Vegas, but anyway, they go in and someone wants this, they want $5,000 for this item, and they're offering 500. There's too much of a disconnect. They're not going to come to a deal in most situations. So that quite possibly is going to happen. So yeah, there are times when you can't offer an appropriate option, but when you can, that's when you do that. Let me give you a few things that I think you should start today. So this is a start today checklist. The first is review your website so that you can highlight and replace technical features. At least consider it. The next is write down 5 emotional client stories, things that people have told you. The next is to create your EVP statement. And of course, if you need that, reach out to me. Use that link that I gave you earlier and put yourself on my calendar and I'll help you create your EVP statement. It's actually not very hard at all. It might take just a little bit of time, but usually I can create one in 15, 20 minutes. It depends. Now, it doesn't mean it's finalized, and because I think once we create it, you need to sit on it for a little while and let it just be, and then come back to it the next day, and then make some fine tuning adjustments to it as needed. Next thing I want you to do is practice emotional response to inquiries. Practice it. All of we're selling an emotional product. So practice your emotional response. Know how to react to what they're saying, to acknowledge what it is that they're saying, to even know, to notice the emotions that they are sharing with you. Practice it. And the last one on the start today list is plan a social post around emotion, not technical stuff, and then post it. Plan a social post around emotion and then post it. If nothing else, here are a handful of takeaways I want you to get from chapter 3. Transform technical features into emotional benefits. Marketing should focus on feelings, not specifications. I want you to model successful luxury brand strategies because your product is a luxury. It's no different than the ones I mentioned earlier, unless you put it in a different place, and you're welcome to put it wherever you want it. But what you do is a luxury item. Number 4, build emotional connections at every touch point that you're going to come in contact with your clients. Next, emotional marketing attracts the ideal clients you want because they are the ones who value what you offer the most. Emotional marketing attracts ideal clients you want because they're the ones who value what you offer the most. Your success isn't just about creating beautiful portraits. It's also about creating beautiful feelings. We're almost done. It's just the closing thoughts that are left. And then I'm going to share with you the upcoming show titles. There are some doozies, especially the last one of the month. Wait till you hear that title. You're probably going to be surprised that that's my title. It's a little racy, but you'll find out. It's the last one of February. You'll hear in just a moment. Take a moment right now to go to the comment section and share with me a takeaway from this lesson, or share some appreciation for you could say thanks to Jim, I appreciate this. Thank you to the sponsors, Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. Whatever it is that you want to post in the comments, I want you to do that right now as I'm doing these closing thoughts for this lesson today. I hope you consider this lesson to be an incredible journey, from understanding the true meaning of your worth to discovering that your real product is emotion. But knowing isn't enough. It's now time to take action. Think about this. Every day, potential clients are looking for someone who understands what they want. And it's not just portraits, it's the confidence, the pride, and the joy that comes from working with the right photographer. That right photographer, that could be you. You know what? And armed with the knowledge that you've gained in this lesson, it will be you. Remember when I said no one's ever asked for my portfolio? That's because they were too busy feeling the connection, feeling understood, feeling valued. You have the same power that I do. I don't have anything more than you. You have the power, just like me, to create both amazing portraits and meaningful emotional experiences. So let me give you this assignment. Start small, but start today. Take just one piece of your marketing and transform it from technical to emotional, and watch what happens. Feel the difference in your consultations. See the change in your client's eyes. Notice it in the way they respond. You're not just any portrait photographer. You're a creator of confidence, a builder of memories, a keeper of joy. Own that truth. And one last point. You're not changing what you do. You're changing how you share it. Your magic has always been there. Now you know how to let it shine. I want you to take a moment, if you haven't already, and put in the comments a takeaway from this show. I also ask that you follow the Portrait Profit Show on social media, and you can find it on Facebook at Portrait Profits. You can find it on Instagram at Portrait Profits. You can find it on YouTube at a slightly different thing because it's you probably have to do a search, but on YouTube, lives are in their own space. There's a folder for live shows, and so when you go to the show, it looks like there's only just a handful of uh, videos there. But if you go across and click on lives, you'll see 200 of them. So that's where you find it on YouTube. So all three are at Portrait Profits. Again, the URL for YouTube is a bit longer, so do a search if you're going to YouTube. Now, as you know, the Portrait Profit Show is something that we do every single week. And so I want to tell you what's coming up. In 1 week from today, I'm going to, and I'll put this up on the screen. Can you believe we're already, that January is pretty much already over? Every month just seems to go so fast. February 3rd at noon. This is called Battling, and let me put a different view on. There we go. Battling invisible competitors. Clients are vanishing into thin air, choosing options that some of you never even knew existed. Join me as I rip the mask off your real competition. Spoiler, that photographer who you think is getting some of your clients, they're the least of your worries. And as a bonus for those who watch live, I'm sharing a checklist with you that I call the photographer's Ghost Buster checklist. Everybody's been ghosted. This is going to help reduce that. Nothing can eliminate it, but this will certainly reduce it. The photographer's Ghost Buster checklist for those who are watching live 1 week from today on February 3rd. And then 2 weeks from today, it'll be the second Monday of the month. We do something different on the second Monday every single month. We move it to 6:30 in the evening because we bring on panelists. And it's just easier to get panelists in the evening than in the middle of the day. So we move it just this once every single month on the second Monday to 6:30 in the evening and host a panel discussion so you can hear different points of view. On February 17th, Back to the regular time at noon. We're doing the Anti-Salesperson's Club. Photographers who hate sales, unite. The Anti-Salesperson Club has started. But there's a problem. You aren't qualified to join. You're an artist, a creative who wants others to enjoy their work. You're already a salesperson. Let me give you a warning for this one. This episode of the show, may cause an unexpected burst of business confidence and the strange urge to stop being the best kept secret. That's on February 17th at noon. Put it on your calendar. And to round out the month of February, this is the one I warned you about. You're probably going to be surprised that I named it this, but there's a reason. Friends with benefits. What to say when friends and family ask for a discount. We all face that awkward moment when friends or family ask for a special deal. So join us as we explore how to handle these requests while elevating both relationships and profits. Plus, discover ways to use this as an opportunity to grow your business. Add it to your calendar, February 24th at noon. I want to thank you, Lens Legends. And in case you're new, that's what I call you guys. Please like, love, share, and join me next week at noon for another Portrait Profits live stream. Today's lesson wasn't just some grouping of ideas. You got some signs today. Some signs on your roadmap to stronger client connections and a more fulfilling career, all that lead to your ideal life. I want you to remember something. You're not just changing your marketing if you follow what I've suggested today. You're elevating your entire business approach. One last time, here is the link if you want today's handout. And I probably should put that as a static rather than emotion. Where is the static one? There it is. I'll turn off that motion one. That's to get today's handout so you can review this and go over it and possibly see some insights that I might not have gotten to today. But that's the link to it. And if you would like to reach out to me, get on my schedule for a free short private session, there's the link for that. Do a screenshot because I'm taking that off. Not staying long. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab. My name is Jim Landers, host of the Portrait Profit Show, where we ignite passion and transform business. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep creating those powerful emotional connections that transform both yours and your clients' lives. I look forward to watching you grow. Man, you guys rock. I appreciate you. Bye for now.